I was born in Bradford to traditional Pakistani parents. From a very young age, I was constantly having to see neurologists and things. There was a lot of things around my bits and pieces and constant whispers. I was confused, frustrated and depressed. Nobody talked to me about it because I was the only one that was going to special school, so everybody else in my family went to mainstream. So I was already different. A lot of intersex people find out in their teen years. At school, I was expected to open a bank account because I was due to get DLA in my own name, and the cashier at Barclays Bank said, "It says female in your birth certificate, I'm going to have to open it as Miss." There was a correction on my birth certificate. A decision had been made to assign me female and carry out surgeries that were aligned to that. When my mum was upset and angry at me, she would often say, I should have flown you to Pakistan and got rid of you. Ultimately, my parents couldn't get rid of me because there would have been questions. Clearly, intersex runs in your genes. Whether my sister who lived for 6 months or my cousin's sisters all kind of died of supposedly natural causes. Why they would be in unmarked graves and not remembered, it is beyond my comprehension. I have to deal with survival guilt that I was privileged enough to be born in Bradford, which ultimately saved my life. Anxiety and trauma and thoughts of not wanting to be here are a constant struggle. Because you're a child and you can't consent, it's all about bodily autonomy and maybe trying to facilitate closure. So I moved to the Northwest in 2017 to Liverpool, very lonely, very isolated. And I just happened to be on this open day about LGBT stuff. And a young lady there said, we've got this group around history of disabled people, and there's a steering group, and we're going to have an exhibition, Nothing About Us Without Us, at the People's History Museum. Would you like to come along? And it was about the disabled people's movement and our chance to share our history from a social model perspective. I was so excited to be a part of this exhibition and learning about the history of our people. And then a job application came up as a community co-curator. And not only was I able to be a community co-curator and have 7 hours a week job, my first job ever actually, I focused on what was currently happening. I was also allowed to be featured in the exhibition as an exhibit. So I'd had this disabled and intersex flag that I'd created of this dual identity of being disabled and intersex. So I got to write my own label, and I got to have a picture of me with my red panda Izzy. And when I did my guided tours, I would cheekily choose to show people my own object because I could speak a lot about my own object. I felt excited about life, and I was educating the disabled people's movement and probably putting in people's mind, what on earth is intersex? People must have Googled, and the compliments I got from people on those guided tours that I created this flag and the positivity around that. And on the PHM YouTube channel, I got interviewed just before the exhibition went live about my flag, and I got to speak about why I'd created it. I decided around that time that I would go by they. And I go by they and any because they can be quite difficult for some of the groups I work with. So, and I don't mind, I'll answer to he, she, they, or anything really, to be honest. And I joined this group for autistic, learning disabled, and neurodivergent queer people, and embracing that label queer because, very against the ideas of the sex binary and heteronormativity, because that is what pushes those medical professionals and sadly pushes a lot of families to operate on their kids because they worry that their kids will be queer or whatever. So I dedicate a lot of my time to activism. I want to use my experiences on a local level for those families of intersex and disabled children. I love being a neurospicy, I love being non-binary, and I'm so glad that I'm surrounded by disabled and queer people. Yeah, brilliant.